Hi, everybody. So today I am joined with the wonderful Meg Watson.
Hi.
And cool, let's just get straight into it with some questions. So, for
Absolutely.
anyone who doesn't know who the wonderful Meg Watson is, how would you describe your sound and what kind of artists influence your music?
Mm. Um, I feel like I always kind of go for like a folk pop. That's always the genre that I put myself into. I'm heavily influenced by like Florence and the Machine, Paris Paloma, The Last Dinner Party, and Orla Gartland. I feel like they're always like my like key hooks. Amy MacDonald as well. I feel like she was a big one that I like listened to growing up from like a songwriting perspective. I'm super inspired by the way that she writes songs for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So, would you say your music has sort of like a real feminist slant to it then, considering you're inspired by like these great women?
I think just so naturally, like just kind of like what I end up writing about, I feel like
Mhm.
falls into that genre without me even particularly like trying. And also when you're just listening to that sort of music and finding that inspiring, yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, that's so cool. So, yeah, now on to the writing. Let's chat about the three singles that you have out.
Yeah.
So cool. Let's
Thanks.
maybe delve into each single one by
Yes.
one, and you can give sort of an insight into maybe the writing process, what inspired those songs, and ultimately what they mean to you. So
Absolutely.
let's
Yeah.
start with what was the first one you released? Was that Funny Thing?
Yes, that was a funny thing. I released that in September 2024. Yeah.
Nice one. Cool. Yeah. So talk to me about Funny Thing.
Funny thing, I wrote that maybe, so it came out in 2024 and I wrote it when I was at uni. So like 20, it was like coming out of like lockdown. They all blur into one, but it was kind of like coming out of lockdown.
Yeah.
And I just write it on my guitar. Most of my songwriting just starts with me on my guitar and the piano. And so I'd written it in my room just on my guitar, and then I had a house like I had a friend who I'd lived with in first year, and she was a tonmeister, and basically had all this free studio time that she needed to use up.
Oh,
And
wow.
I said to her, I'd written this song, and she was like, "Well, do you want to come and use the studio? Like, I can use it for my portfolio. You can get some like experience in the studio." And so that was my first experience of recording. We basically recorded a sort of demo version of the funny thing you can hear now, together, and it was so fun. And it was my first experience of like taking a song from just me and my guitar to like the production side of it, and she was amazing and like just so good at talking me through the whole process. And so I feel like actually Funny Thing was the first song when I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if I could do this with more of my songs. And then since then I worked with her on another song, and then I have a producer that I work with now called Sam Rankin, and me and him record all the songs together. But that was like how it all. Funny Thing was how it all started, so it felt apt that that should be the first single that I released as well.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful that the stars seem to just align.
It really did feel like that, yeah.
Oh, to make that all come together. Oh, that's so beautiful. So what is funny thing about? Talk to me about some of the lyrics in that
Mm.
song.
I think it just. I feel like it's a feeling that everyone can resonate with in varying degrees, but it's just feeling a bit like the odd one out, or a bit uncomfortable, or a bit out of place. And I feel like um, in different contexts, everyone can relate to that. And I felt like just the phrase funny thing just really captured that. I feel like a funny thing. I feel like the odd one out. And so that's what the song's about. And just kind of, how does it start? I forgot my own lyrics. And the start of the song is talking about how when you're younger, it doesn't matter as much. And then it kind of creeps in as you get older and you start to become more self-conscious. But I feel like it's also quite an empowering thing. It's kind of taking back like there is something about songwriting where it's kind of about taking the power back about how you feel about something.
Mm.
So it's something that I felt insecure about, but almost like taking ownership of the phrase funny thing and making it into like an upbeat bop felt quite cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Nice one. So let's move on to Strip It Back. Same
Yeah.
question. Was that you working with your new producer now?
So yeah, well, me and Liv, who was the girl I worked with before, she's great. And so we actually did do a demo of Strip It Back as well.
Oh, cool.
So that was really fun. And then yes, but Strip It Back was a similar thing. I just felt like it was an upbeat, good vibe. I felt like it was a similar thing, similar sort of vibe to Funny Thing. So when I was thinking about the sort of the way I was releasing my music, I was like, I feel like this goes quite well with the Funny Thing. So yes, Strip It Back was the second song I recorded with Sam, and that was really fun. Yeah, like yeah, I always like go between Funny Thing and Strip It Back, like which one is my favorite. Like it always fluctuates, and I'm always interested
Oh,
to hear what people say and stuff.
oh, that's so cool. So what does Strip It Back mean to you? Like, what's the message in that song?
It's just about I mean, again, I kind of use the terms of like use the lens of looking at back when you were younger and stuff, and how you didn't have any inhibitions. So like the line that I really resonate with in the chorus of Strip It Back is inhibitions don't let us grow anyway. And I think that as we get older, just naturally, like there's just more stuff that gets put on us, more pressures, more comparison, all that sort of stuff. And I think that the method of Strip It Back is just like keep it simple. Strip all of that back, like focus on the things that genuinely make you happy, that make you feel fulfilled, that sort of stuff. And I think that that's that. Yeah, and I feel like if we could all live by that a bit more, I think that we'd all be, it's so hard to, but I think we'd all be a lot happier. So that's, yeah, that's what Strip It Back is like. And I use the kind of lens of like, oh, this is what it was like when we were younger, let's see if we can kind of like take some of that and move forward with that. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, that's such a beautiful message. Would you say that
Thanks.
maybe a theme in your songwriting is kind of wanting to give advice to other people and especially maybe other young women about um, themes of self-confidence?
It's a good question. I think not intentionally. I think that I just write songs in the moment with it's what I need to hear, really, without
Mm.
just kind of often it'll just be a thought that I've been thinking about for a long time, and then
Yeah.
it comes out in a song. But if somebody takes any advice, like that's lovely if they took any like positive advice from it. And I do feel like I want to be releasing songs that have a positive, empowering message of some kind, like you know, I kind of feel like that I always want them to have, even if there's talking about more insecure stuff, I love there to be like an empowering message in there as well. So I guess that unintentionally I am doing that, but like yeah, maybe.
Mm. No, that's so lovely. It's so refreshing to hear a fellow artist as well that puts so much time and attention into their lyricism and in the stories and the messages that they're telling. We live in a time where there's so much mass production of music,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's so important to help support artists and listen to
Mm.
artists that, have real positive messages because there's a lot of lazy lyricism out there at the
Mm.
moment. So
Oh,
yeah, it's
definitely.
so nice to chat to someone that like really, really cares about the stories and yeah, the messages they're putting into their songs.
Thanks, that's very kind.
Cool. So let's move on to Witch, your
Yeah.
newest single, which is
Yeah.
what caught my attention. Because that came up on my TikTok For You page, and that intro, it just like it just struck me. It was like it sort of gave me big Florence and the Machine vibes, but also with something like really ethereal and new. So yeah, I want to know
Thanks so
everything
much.
about that song. Like how did that begin? What was the beginning stages of which?
Well, first, thank you so much, because I like that was a big thing for me. I was like, okay, I want this intro to like get the vibe of the song straight away. And we
Mm.
spent a long time, like there were lots of different versions of that intro. And in the end, actually, we just took some backing vocals that we'd created for another part of the song. And I was like, I really love them. Let's give them like a moment at the start. So yeah, so I'm really glad because I really that was a big thing for me. I was like, I want to get the vibe straight away. With which it was a similar thing. I actually so yeah, so similar thing. I wrote it in maybe I think it was summer 2020. I'd written it, and it was a similar vibe. It was just me and my guitar writing it. And then in September of 2024, I did a single launch for Funny Thing, which was the first time that I'd like played a like a set like a full set of my own songs and stuff. So it was amazing. Like I had support artists, and then I did the set with a band. It was really fun, and just but playing Witch live was just so, like it was just so fun. Like we had these amazing. I had my my drummer Jess like doing these amazing like drums in the back, and it was just so fun. And that was the song that I felt like people were coming up and saying they like vibed with the most. So I
Mm.
think that it was always going to be up there with one of the first songs I wanted to release and produce professionally. Um, so the so that was fun because I kind of had that live demo of which had all these like big drums and a really cool bass line, and kind of it was really fun to take that live recording an arrangement and put it into a production, and like keeping that same drive going on that you hear in the chorus with the drums and all of those like big backing vocals, and having like strong bass in there and stuff. So I feel like which really was created almost from the live version, the arrangement that we made, and I was like, I love this, I want to translate this as much as possible into the production, which I think we which I was really happy with in the end. Like it was a lot of hard work and a lot of fine tuning, but I think that we managed to get there for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's such a beautiful song.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, what does it mean to you when you perform
Mm.
that song?
I mean, that's the most empowering one. I feel. I think it's just a bit badass. um,
Totally.
so I'm an actor as well. I went to drama school, and it
Oh,
feels,
cool.
and it feels the most theatrical of my songs.
Mm.
I think naturally I'm inspired by like growing up listening to musical theatre and like songs that told stories. Um, and without even realizing, I think which really like lends itself to that. So I think that it feels like I'm telling a story. It feels like I'm telling this like this like almost like mythical story about, and I'm using the term witch as a kind of general term of like these were women that were X, Y, and Z too much, all this, all these sort of things. And I'm using that term and kind of like giving different examples of it, but in a storytelling form. And so it is that I think that was why it was fun to perform as well, because it felt very like kind of you're pulling people in and you're telling the story,
Mm.
you know.
Oh wow, that's so cool. I had no clue that you had an acting background, but that makes so much sense from your writing because your music is so theatrical. It takes you on such a journey. So that makes so much sense that
Thank you.
that you
Thank
have
you.
acting roots. So are you trying to balance that at the moment, doing music and acting? Yeah, what's that like?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. I feel like it kind of lends itself to kind of, lends itself, and also helps each other out. And I also feel like it's great because you end up meeting like creatives in the music industry and creatives in the acting industry, and it all kind of like, and I mean, I'm sure you get this too, like anyone that's doing anything creative often has a few strings to their bow, don't they? They're often
Yeah.
doing a few different things. So I feel like it's like nice to feel, yeah, like you have a few different revenues that you can kind of be like working on at the same time. Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's so interesting. Cool. So, what would you say your creative process is like? Where do songs come from? Are you just sort of sitting on your bed playing your guitar? Are you writing on your notes app some lyrics? Yeah, is there like a specific process that you have in order to create a song, or is it all a bit random?
Mm. Love these questions. They're good questions. um, I feel like I think for me, it usually is over the course of a few months. So I'll maybe have an idea that maybe it's a certain phrase. So like for example, in Strip It Back, I had the phrase "strip it back" for a while, but I was like, I really resonated with that. I wanted to write a song about that. Um, and then I never tend to write a whole song in one sitting. It obviously depends, but in general, like I'll usually it's usually like if I once I found a chorus that I really like, I feel like the song then tends to build from that. Um, but it usually is a very chill thing. Like it's definitely at the moment my songwriting is a very like solo process, um, and it's just it's kind of always just going on in the back of my head sort of things, and then I'll maybe have a chorus that I really like, and then once I've got that, then I'm a bit more intentional with it. Then I sit down and I'm like, right, okay, so this is what the chorus is saying. What do I want the lead up to it to be like? Where do I want it to go in the bridge? And so I feel like it happens in stages, but the chorus is usually once I've got a good chorus, or I'm happy with the chorus, or I feel like there's a good vibe in the chorus, that's when I really like pursue a song. So I have like maybe a fair few choruses that are sitting there but aren't quite ready, but once they're ready, then I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to be a bit more intentional and write the rest of the song around this, if that makes sense.
I love that. So it's almost a bit of a durational
Yeah, for
experience for you,
sure.
and
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Hmm.
fermenting in
Yeah.
the back of your
Cementing is the
brain.
perfect word. It's just
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's a really good message as well to anyone who's watching this and who's an aspiring songwriter, that there's no rush
yeah, for
to
sure.
create songs. Songs need to come out and develop in their own time. And I think
Yes.
your work is so reflective of that, because the songs they're so beautifully put together. And I feel like you the fact that they took their time to come out is reflective in the song. You know, nothing feels rushed. It all feels like very intentional. So I feel like that's a great message to
Thank you.
anyone out there who's wanting to
Yeah.
make some songs.
For sure. It's
Um,
like a yeah, like no, these things happen in their own time,
mm,
and often like uh I'll maybe have like the song come together at a time that I really needed to hear it. You know, almost like it's a song that I've had an idea of for a while, but actually like,
mm,
oh no, I fully sat down and wrote it at a time when actually like I needed that advice for myself.
yeah.
So yeah, I feel like yeah, you're right, all time and place. But fermenting is the perfect word.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use that now.
oh my God, no, I literally think that all the time. I speak about that with my friends. I'm like, yeah, the idea's there, and then it
Yeah.
just like comes forward in its own time.
Yes. When it's needed, it just
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, that's cool that you experienced that as well. Cool. So, being a woman in the creative industries is such an incredible thing. It can be so empowering, but it can also come with its own challenges and its own hurdles. What do you feel like are some of the biggest hurdles that you have faced as an artist at the moment, and particularly as being a woman in the industry?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I think it's. I mean, I think a big thing is my own kind of is maybe like the. It's taken me a while to seek out the representation that's given me the push to keep, do you know, like to kind of really
Mm,
put myself out there. Um, and I think that there is a, yeah, there is that kind of that thing that I feel is holding me back about like properly like pushing out. And I think that I think that it's been honestly since I've like started like posting more on like social media and like getting other like female independent representation that's like been so empowering for me to like kind of be like, okay, other people are doing this, and like I can do this because I'm seeing other people do it as well. And I think it's a massive like mental thing as well. I'm sure other like people experience it too, of like, yeah, of almost like pushing of there's so many parts of your head that's like, don't do it, no one wants to hear what you have to say. And I think it's just about kind of having that like quite like steely confidence of like but I, you know, of listening to that gut, that intuition um that is always right, but I feel like it's particularly hard to um and I think maybe as well as a female like artist, of when you're in more like leadership positions, so maybe yeah, just kind of as the yeah, and just navigating that and kind of walking that line of like not wanting, you know, or feet, not wanting to come across bossy, all this sort of stuff, you know, all those sort of like internal stuff that we
mm,
have in us, which I think that's one of the biggest challenges of being like, no, I'm not. I'm actually just like stating what I would like, and I'm being really clear and I'm communicating. And I
mm.
think that it's like listening to your gut and being like, I'm not being all those things. And if that makes sense, you know, I think but it's a mindset thing. I think as well for me, at least. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, just having that inner confidence
yeah, for sure. Like,
in, yeah, yeah, in your gut instinct as well. Do you find as well, sort of when you're maybe working with musicians or in a producer role, and as you say, you're taking that directing role, do you ever find that you experience any pushback from anyone, and you sort of have to be strong in your convictions with that?
I mean, I've been like I've been very fortunate. I'm so aware of how fortunate I've been that actually like all of the musicians and producers I've worked with are just awesome, and have actually been like super, yeah, just super encouraging of that. But I think that I've heard of other people where those experiences haven't been like that. And I think it's been for me is that I'm always looking for people that I not necessarily have like a friendship with beforehand, but at least have like yeah, I don't know, have a bit of rapport with, or a bit of. So I'm wanting to work with people that I feel like we would be friends as well, and I think that that's so. Like I've been fortunate enough to be able to like look for people like that and stuff. It's not always the case with everybody, but I think that that's really helped me because then it's like it is about the music, but it's not all about the music, and actually. I just trust these people just as like friends as well, and that's really helped in when we're like doing gigs and producing things like that. But as I say, I've worked with some amazing people who have been super encouraging and really yeah really great. But I know it's not the case for everybody like that.
No, that's such a beautiful piece of advice because it comes back to what we were speaking about. Don't rush, and
Yeah, for sure.
don't
Yeah,
rush to find the right people to collaborate with.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and
Mm.
when you found someone, you're like, yeah, cool. Like, I feel like we get along. I feel like we're on the same length because it's very vulnerable. You know, like sharing your songwriting with somebody and performing it and all that sort of stuff. So it's like, yeah, you're right. Completely take your time in finding those right people. Because once you found them, then it's all of that time waiting was so worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's such a beautiful thing. Cool. So, what can we expect to see from Meg Watson going forward? Have you got
Mm.
any gigs coming up? Can you tease us about any new singles that are coming? What can you give us?
We've got oh yeah, what should I tease? Um I am I've got two new songs that are like heavily in the works at the moment.
Cool.
That I'm kind of I've been like that basically are going to complete this like EP that I've been creating. So yeah, we've done all the kind of vocals of both songs and stuff, and we're just in like all of the like into the gritty of production at the moment with that. So that is super fun. I've got
Oh,
some fun like visual ideas for the new songs as well, which is a super like fun part of that, which will which people can look forward to because I feel like that'll be like another added level to the release. And then yeah, so EP before the end of the year, I'm gonna say.
wow, that's so exciting. Does the EP have like an overall theme, overall message?
I don't think I've intentionally had a theme at all. I think that probably naturally it's going to have just what the themes have been already through my songs of this kind
Mm.
of like all of the songs have a like at the core of them is a real positive message. It's empowering and it's like I'm really would hope that people would listen to it and come away feeling like lighter. Yeah, so I guess there is a unintentional slight like advice giving running through it without me like intentionally doing that, but yeah, just thinking about them, I think they've all got like a level of a positive message going through them for sure.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Are we allowed to know what the two new songs are about?
um
Give us a bit of a story of those.
let me think. Well, okay, so the it's hmm. No, it's basically kind of what the next single is all about the little things in our lives that ultimately make up all the big things.
Mm.
It's a bit cutesy. It's a bit, but yeah,
Oh, that's so
that's
beautiful. Cool. So just before we wrap up then, what if you could, I know this is a really hard question, if you could give one piece of advice to any aspiring songwriter or artist out there that's maybe struggling with issues of self-confidence and not wanting to put themselves out there, or sort of facing writer's block, is there any sort of crucial advice that you've applied to your own life that you would say is, yeah, crucial for people to get going in their own artistry?
Ooh. Um, well, there is one thing that I always say to myself whenever I'm like going to do something that I'm really scared of. So like whether that's like posting music for the first time or like going to an audition. And it's like it's if you when you're feeling scared, it just means you're about to do something brave. And I feel like it's that just is like a really like good little thing that I always have in my head when I'm like, oh, I don't want, when you're like really scared, you're like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. You're like, but on the other side of this, like I'm actually doing something that's brave. And that's helped me. That's helped me in those final moments when I've almost not done something. That's helped me just kind of, yeah, keep going.
Oh
Little mantra.
wow, that is so beautiful. When you're scared, you're about to do something brave.
It's not mine. I don't know where I heard it. Probably from a good friend of mine or something. But it's nothing, I think it's just in those moments when like you can't think of anything else. I just hold on to that. I'm
Mm.
like, okay.
God, that's so wonderful. I feel like I want to make that into a poster.
Yeah.
Just have on my wall. Oh, I really use that. That's so
Good. Please
wonderful.
do.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you so much for chatting
Oh,
to me and taking the
having me.
time. It's
Thank you.
cool. So where can we find Meg Watson on social media and all the streaming platforms?
Yes. So Meg Watson on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your music, and then it's Meg W dot what there's a dot between the W and the A of Watson on TikTok and Instagram. But like if you type Meg Watson, you'll find it. And yeah, that's where I'll be releasing and promoting all of my new music and any gigs that I've got coming up and things like
Oh, amazing. Oh,
that.
well, thank you so much. And please, please, please all go and check out Meg Watson. She is a name to know in the
Thank you so much
UK
for having
at the moment.
me.
And yeah, I hope one day I'll come and get the opportunity to come and see you live. That would be so cool. Nice one. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, everyone who's watching and you, Meg, as well, have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.